Welcome to Hayes Social. It is the post-game show live on Woodward Sports as San Francisco goes down to the Rams. Oh, man, Anson,
You're in a little better mood today.
I'm in a lot better mood.
A little bit.
And I wanted to start off the show just by I just wanted to laugh and laugh and laugh because I hate being the I told you so guy, but I don't really hate being the I told you so
you
guy.
Love it.
And you know what? I thought I told everybody Jared Goff is okay.
He's okay.
I thought last week he did okay, even though they went 1 of 7 in the red zone. And here we go again. And every show is not going to be the Jared Goff show.
No, it will not.
But that's what fans are turning these games into. Because when Jared Goff is perfect for the entire first half, Lions have the lead, all that good stuff. Nobody's complimenting Goff. But the minute he throws an interception, oh God! Every time this guy drops back, I'm nervous. Every time it's like, okay, let's calm down. This goes back to the new money Lions fans we were talking about last year. They're not used to winning.
No.
Even when we're sitting here, people are like, oh, my God, this game, I'm nervous. You're up by 10 points on the road in the fourth quarter. Yes, nerves are good. You should have them. But let's have some context about what the hell is actually going on with this football team. Welcome to the post-game show here at Hayes Social. My name is Stick. The man to my left is Anson Wells. We've been doing the post-game show here on Woodward Sports pretty much since the inception of this whole thing. And now we take the show on the road. We're here in Shelby Township. Anson Wells, you're going to hear a lot from me today about the Detroit Lions. How you doing today? I mean, your voice a little gone. You partied a little hard last night?
No, I'm good, man. I'm just waiting. I've been waiting for today.
Yep.
The Lions are 90210 nowadays, man. They are must-watch TV. Like, everybody in Detroit is living and dying with this team. We talk about it last week, comparing to last year, how when we lost to Seattle in week 2, people were down. But people in this city last year, they weren't as bought in as they are right now.
No.
And this is absolute must-watch TV for everybody in the state of Michigan. So all week long, people have been nervous. People have been overanalyzing every little thing as we watch a whole bunch of laterals go down here. Oh, they might have a chance.
It's got a chance.
They had a chance.
Oh, my God.
And that is the end
some fights.
of the Rams and the 49ers.
Oh, look at the coach.
Coach is ready to rock. Ayuk had an opportunity there at the end, a whole bunch of laterals on a kickoff. But listen, the Lions are 2-1. They should be 3-0. They could be 3-0. But this is a team with a brand new schedule filled with playoff quality opponents. This is a brand new team with a target on their back. And this is a brand new team with an entire city supporting them, rabid for them. So when things don't go perfectly like they didn't last week, you're down and you're worried and you're stressed all week long. I mean, I'll be honest with you, Stick. I put a little bit of money on the Cardinals today because I needed to have a good day. Either way, I needed a Lions W or at least a little bit of money to pad the pain. But this team showed us the exact opposite of what we saw last week. We saw over 50 pass attempts. We saw 23 today.
Yeah.
Less than half.
And you know who really wasn't involved in the offense today? Jamison Williams. He's kind of been a
true.
focal point the first 2 weeks. They've been wanting to bomb it deep and stuff like that. And I think this is a kind of, let's get back to what got us to where we were. Yes, we have the Benz in the garage, but that doesn't mean we have to drive it every day. We got J-Mo whenever you want it.
Yes.
But we didn't need him today.
Nope. And we had Dan Miller on the show on Wednesday, and that was something that I asked him. I said, is the focus on turning J-Mo into the 1B wide receiver on this team, has that taken away from guys like Sam Laporta? Sam Laporta, we saw an integral part of that first drive. Lions went down, scored a touchdown. We didn't see a lot of him the rest of the day, but we didn't need to. The defense took over, and the running game held serve.
Yeah, I love this in the chat. The super chat from Andrew Forbes. Goff is good enough for Detroit. You're damn right he is. He's been good enough. Actually, he's better than Detroit. And the people who still look at him like he's not the hottest girl you've ever had, you're blind.
He's quoting Dan Campbell there, though. He got that game ball after that first playoff victory.
I got the reference.
And he is good enough for us. Listen, if that's the worst game you're going to get out of the Detroit Lions, we spoke about this once again on Wednesday. I've seen a lot of bad teams here in Detroit, Sam. And if that's the worst version of Lions that we're going to get last week, a game that could have, should have been won against a division champion, against a playoff team, one that comes down to the wire, one that we have 2 chances in the last 2 minutes to win, I'll take it.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of good things to take away from this game. One, you get your first road win of the season.
Yes, sir.
Went on the road. Dan Campbell has not lost back-to-back games, 8 consecutive losses coming back with a win. That's fantastic. Jared Goff looked good. I mean, about as efficient as you can be running that offense.
12 of 12 in the first half.
That's pretty damn good.
That's pretty damn efficient,
He
bro.
did get bailed out by the 2-minute warning, but I don't think that play really happens the way it does.
I don't think he even throws that ball. Well, he heard the whistle.
And a couple of the linemen gave up because they heard the whistle too. So
sure.
that play doesn't happen that way, but still optics-wise, and this is what I put in the chat during that. Those are the plays that used to happen to the Lions. Now they happen
100%.
for the Lions.
Yep.
And that was a couple times in this game, the challenge on that massive 4th down where Kyler Murray scrambled and Dan Campbell threw the challenge flag, and they said, okay, you're right. He was about 6 inches back. He doesn't get the first down. Just an overall good game. And we could talk about the offense because that's still the fun part of football to talk about. But this defense, man.
Oh,
this defense has allowed 53 points in 3 games.
They allowed 77 yards rushing today total. Okay?
How many yards passing did Kyler have at the end of the game?
I
know he picked up some garbage stats, but before that last drive, he was only sitting at like 120.
Well, we worry about number 1 wide receivers, right? And they got a great one.
Well,
a great young one. He had a hell of a week last week. He turned out like he was going to have a great week this week. 64 yards.
Yeah, he got a touchdown, though. Marvin Harrison got a touchdown.
Well, and we're going to give that up, but I'm talking about the 2 touchdowns, 130-yard games that the Lions have been, guilty of giving up last year and early this season. You got 64 yards for both him and Michael Wilson, and a lot of those yards, a lot of those plays and catches came in that 4th quarter. Lions are running a prevent, just trying to hold on to that 10-point lead. Now, I'm going to throw a little bit of shade, all right? This Lions team throws the ball 12 times in the first half, right?
Okay.
They throw the ball 7 times in the 3rd quarter. They get away from the run game. They turn the ball over. And once again, going back to last year, we have a drought in the 3rd quarter.
Yeah, that is still a thing.
It is.
And it's very interesting. And, last year it was kind of an anomaly. Like, all right, the first half they put up 24 points. They didn't have to put up anything.
If we're great for 3
quarter.
quarters, I can stomach one bad one.
Right, but it's still weird how that's a carryover.
Yep.
And you know what? You got to give the other coaches credit for making adjustments. And it seems like the Lions did well in the first half, so they didn't really have to make adjustments. Arizona came out, they made the proper adjustments, and then the Lions, in turn, made them again in the 4th quarter to kind of dominate and put the game away. So
I would have liked to have seen them
put
the game away, though. You said
yes.
Put the game away. They never did put this one away.
Well,
now they're on the road.
Yeah.
This is a good team. We got the lead early, but I would have liked to have seen 24, 27, even more points in this one to cast no doubts on the outcome of this one, which there was a little bit. 6 minutes left, 8 minutes left, little bit dicey.
It's an
there.
NFL game. There's
Certainly.
Always going to be doubt, right? What is it? 90% of NFL games. 90% of NFL games are 1-score games.
Yep.
There's always going to be that aspect. But if you're on the other side of the coin, like the Lions are, and you're not constantly chasing, obviously you have the advantage. But it's just been nice to watch them. I looked at Neil Rule. I was like, 4-minute offense. Can they salt this away with a 4-minute offense? Now, obviously, they gave the ball back for Kyler to not get the job done at the very end. But, Jared Goff scrambling at the end. Fantastic.
Yeah.
The offensive line, fantastic. Picking up David Montgomery and just escorting him for about 7 yards.
Yeah, that was
amazing.
beautiful.
I mean, there was just so many good things to talk about this game. And that's what I love about victories, right? Because even last week, if they would have scored in the last 30 seconds and won that game, we would have been talking about, oh, my God, they went 2 of 7 in the red zone and they won the game. But look, they moved the ball 400 yards. They held them to 20 points. Like, there were so many good things you could take away, but you can't because it's a loss. This game is almost the antithesis of it, you know. We could talk about all the good things that happened today because they got that W. And one thing that I saw in the first half, which really made me think of last year, and it was like, okay, now they're back to what they were doing. That draw play, I believe it was 3rd and 12 early in the first half, and they picked up the first down. That's the stuff they were doing last year. When people weren't expecting them to do that, they just hit them right up the middle, and Jahmyr Gibbs gets the first down, and you keep the offense on the field and you keep them going. Like, that's the confidence in the play call in the line that I think Brad Johnson, it was almost like an aha game for him. Like, oh, yeah. Dude,
we can do this.
Wait, what have I been doing?
And it felt like we were desperate on 3rd down last week. This week, we were just confident, and we were easy. Now, that play, I don't think they were expecting to get 12, 13, 14 yards on a 3rd and 12.
I think they were.
Yeah, I mean, you're hoping. But the fact that they're coming out with the confidence that they came out with today on 3rd down, on those big plays, it just felt so much different from last week. It really makes you feel like last week was an aberration.
Andrew Forbes with another chat. Our whole divisions except the Bears are in a playoff spot. Yeah,
don't sleep on the Vikes, man.
This division's looking strong. Listen,
I've been telling you guys all offseason, don't sleep on the Vikings. Everybody's trying to do exactly that to the Bears. Don't sleep on the Vikings, all right? The Bears, listen, the Lions are going to dial up the blitz for Caleb. No,
Darnold.
Yeah, were you sleeping through his 4 touchdowns today? Did you sleep through his 4 touchdowns today?
Yeah, I did.
Did you sleep through him throttling the Lions? What happened the last time we played Sam Darnold and the Jets? All right, don't sleep on them. All I'm saying is,
talking about Matt Patricia was our coach in
all
game
of you
one?
guys
Come
were
on. What are we doing? Was that
so
like
many of you guys were bent on knee for the Bears. The Vikings are a team that we need to worry about. This entire division is a team that we need.
This is what I don't understand.
We need to worry about.
People who will defend a Sam Darnold but will criticize a Jared Goff. Right?
I'm not that guy.
I'm not saying you are, but this is what I don't, because you see it. Like, oh, Sam
But
Darnold's
last
a great
year-
quarterback.
but-
Sam Darnold's never been a good quarterback
But
in this
last year,
league.
everybody wrote off the Vikings.
Yeah,
even without their quarterback, they still were 1 game away.
And last
this
year,
is a good team.
Dobbs was the saving grace, the Pastronaut. Oh, they found their... Anybody can have a good 3-game stretch. I've seen it a million times.
But they had a good 3-game stretch from Mullins, and they had a good 2-game stretch from Hall, and they had a good 3-game stretch from Dobbs.
And so now you're telling me that Darnold's doing it, and I'm supposed to think he's better than Mullins, Dobbs, and all them?
He certainly is.
Pish posh.
Okay.
Pish posh, I say.
Listen.
I dropped
you guys
a pish
at home,
posh
you guys,
on the post-game
I know that
show.
he's
That's
all
how serious
hyped,
it is.
and he's got a little bit of this 1,800 thing.
Got
Shout out to our sponsors.
Or as Tim, the sales guy that works with us, he calls it 1-800-TEQUILA.
1-800 tequila.
He's like, we got to close this 1-800-TEQUILA.
That's what you need to call after you drink a bottle of this good stuff. But, no, we're smack dab in the middle of one of the best divisions in football. And I've watched every single snap of Caleb Williams. Today, he's got 350-plus yards. I think that there's a whole lot of cover 2 and, dime kind of coverage on that blows that number up. But he still can make throws, and they still have a hell of a defense, and they're going to get Keenan Allen back. I know you don't love Darnold, but that team, they're deep at wide receiver. Jalen Naylor, my boy, my alma mater, playing really, really well. And at some point, very soon, they're going to get Hawkinson back. I'm not trying to sing the praises of the Vikings. I'm not trying to tear down the Bears, and I'm not trying to forget the Packers. All I'm telling our faithful at home, our Woodward watchers, is that this is going to be a long season. This is going to be a trial of how real this team is. Not a surprise visit to the NFC Championship, but an earned visit and trek to the Super Bowl. And it's going to go through one of the best divisions in football.
Yeah, but if you're going to sell me on Sam Darnold's going to take down the Lions, I got some oceanfront property in Arizona to tell you.
I'll bet you $1 right now they get one from us.
Oh, 100%. All right. You guys seen it here.
Right.
You've
it's
seen
$1,
it here.
Big dollar.
The fact that you are so far on Donald's jock, but let me get some of the. You are. You're sitting over here. Oh my God.
I'm not on his jock. I'm just not off of the Vikings. All right. The Vikings are a hell of a squad.
3 good games. 3 straight games. The defense held opponents to 20 points. Pretty correct, but this game was only 13 points actually. So
under 20, baby.
Even better, under 20.
Yep.
Dante 151 in the super chat right now. Anson, that game against the Jets was Matt Patricia as our head coach, so stop it. I know, and that's,
I get it.
Like, honestly, that's what he had to go to pull, like, a good Sam Darnold
You mean the last
memory.
time the Darnold Express came to Detroit?
No, that he did anything in his career?
True, all right? But he's also been on some terrible teams.
Oh, my God.
He's with a team with the best wide receiver in football.
If he was the best, why'd you trade him?
So I get a first-round pick. And everybody that I've talked to aside from you that understands context loves that trade for me.
Yeah, you handed one of your best friends a championship.
Dude, he's an asshole. He's one of my best friends, but he's an asshole. I'm not trying to help him out at all.
I'll bet you $350 that we lose to Minnesota in Minnesota. Mason Leach.
Where's your money? Where's your mouth?
I'll take the bet.
You got that, Mr. Leach?
It's coming in Lady Jane's gift cards.
Right, yeah, that's how it's done. And maybe a bottle of $1,800. Actually, that's probably just as illegal.
Get used to it, Stick. Be very afraid. See, these are the people that you like. These are the people you validate. These are the same assholes that'll sit here and question Jared Goff. We'll be like, well, Sam Darnold's good now. And it's like, but Jared Goff's been great his whole career. And you still can't trust him.
I'm not trying to validate anybody.
The dude in the purple.
All I'm saying is it's not going. Listen,
the division's tougher
where's
than I
Neil
thought.
Rule at? Neil Rule talking about we're not supposed to even think about the Minnesota Vikings.
This guy.
This is a legitimate team.
It's turning to Sam Darnold hour.
No, it's not the Sam Darnold
Darnold's
hour.
going to beat us.
Listen, you want to focus on one portion of me saying that we should be worried about the Vikings.
Neil, grab the mic and come on over here. We need some sense into this post-game show. Scoochie.
Okay, the sense
where's
is the fact
wireless?
that you guys
not the wireless,
all
the wired.
season have saying that there's only one team to worry about in the NFC North, okay? The Green Bay Packers have done it without their young star in Jordan Love. Malik Willis is actually looking like a worthwhile trade. What I'm trying to say is this.
Hold on.
Here he is.
Malik Willis is looking like a worthwhile
You don't think that was a great trade for a
acquisition.
6th-round pick?
Sam Darnold's going to beat us, Neil.
How much? I'll bet you $1 that we lose one to the Vikings.
Anson.
I'll bet you $1 we lose one to the Vikings.
I'll buy you a drink. Yeah, I'll go do it for a drink. 100%.
All right, there we go.
All right, there's that.
There's that.
What's on your list? Is this like a list of your bullshit? Like what's on here,
These are
dude?
just things that I want to talk about. I want to
Dumb
talk
shit?
about the fact
here's
that I'm worried
dumb
about
shit number one. All right.
Oh, dumb shit number one. Jared Goff
shit.
went 12 for 12 in the first half, which was amazing.
I didn't see that.
Okay. And Kyler actually went for 9 for 11.
All right, no,
Probably
anyway,
one of the most
all right,
efficient
all right.
first halves I've ever
Anson,
seen throwing the ball.
We're getting off base here right
Yeah.
now, okay? You want to sit here and talk about I'm worried about the Vikings?
No, you
and
weren't.
Sam Darnold.
You
No.
said that they're an afterthought.
They are an afterthought.
An afterthought,
They are
huh?
flat out afterthought.
3-0.
Okay,
4
cool.
touchdowns by their new quarterback. Best wide receiver in the league.
Okay.
Veteran running back. And a guy that knows us that'll be back around week 6 at tight end.
Oh, okay.
Deep defense. Hell of a deep defense.
You look me in the eye and say that Sam Darnold even enters your thought process.
After today, he did.
Oh, how much more data do you need on Sam Darnold? How much more?
Listen,
Anson,
okay,
you can tell.
Would you
can
have said
tell
the
me
same
all right,
thing
look,
a year and a half ago about
Josh
Baker
Dobbs
Mayfield?
is the next
Look.
Joe Montana.
Dude,
he had 3 good games.
You tell me what you think. I'll tell you what we know, and we know what Sam Darnold is.
And I think
we have data.
And I think
Data.
I think the Vikings are good enough up and down with a game manager like Darnold that at this point in his career understands how to not turn over the ball and get it to the best wide receiver in the
he's
NFL.
learned in his
This is a
87th
team.
year.
This is a team that you can't be like, oh, they're nothing. Wait, you mean his 87th year, the same year as Baker Mayfield, a year after it all came together for Baker Mayfield? They're the same class. We were just showing all kinds of love to Baker Mayfield a week ago, and because
Sam Darnold is closer to Josh Rosen than Baker Mayfield.
So you're going to tell me that he can't take the Vikings to a wild card playoff game and win one? Because
Yes,
that's
I'm telling you
exactly
that.
what Baker Mayfield did a year ago with a new team.
I am telling you that.
Okay.
Baker Mayfield
and you got your money on the line.
Anson,
Leash,
Anson,
you got $350 on the line too, right?
Anson, every team Baker Mayfield has gone to, was he the starter? Was he the starter in Cleveland? Was he the starter in Carolina?
What does that have to do with anything?
When Sam Darnold went to San Francisco, was he third string?
Did he start?
Maybe a game or
Did he?
two.
Did he
but
start?
He wasn't the starter. That's
Okay.
what you're missing. Baker's been the franchise quarterback for franchises. Sam Darnold hasn't been the franchise quarterback for a little league team.
Okay, sleep on him. Sleep on him at your own peril, my friend.
I can't wait.
How did this become about the Vikings? All I was talking about how
you're
difficult
stroking Sam
our division
Darnold
is,
after 3
and you're
games.
so upset about Sam Darnold that you
not
overlooked
upset.
the other
I know what he
52
is.
guys on that team.
I know what Sam Darnold is.
All I know is this: I'm standing over there, minding my own business.
Trying to drink.
I'm talking with Kool-Aid. I enjoyed some libations here at Hayes Social.
Beth's in the chat.
Hi,
Send him
girly.
money too. Save your money. Save your money, Beth.
No, but here's all I know.
It's
I was standing over there with the fine gentleman Kool-Aid, known as Kool-Aid.
He is a fine gentleman.
We're talking about life, Chase. We're chopping it up. Sam Flannel and I. He's
It's a
trying
victory,
to.
right?
Yeah, it's a victory. We're talking about victories and stuff. And then I get called over here, and I have next thing I know, I have Anson over here saying Sam Darnold's a factor, and the Minnesota Vikings. Holy shit, man!
No, listen,
you need to be terrified of the
I
Vikings.
saw Woodward Sports put up a thing today about how you said that they are a non-thought. They're just
Non-thought.
they're just a complete. They're over here.
I have no.
Okay.
As a Lions
We'll
fan,
revisit this.
yeah, we will.
Yeah,
we
that's the best
100%
part about
we will.
sports.
We'll
That's
revisit
best
this.
part
The
about
truth always
sports.
comes out.
Yeah, when they go
All
on
right,
a
so
7-game
let's
losing streak
talk
and
about
Sam
something
Darnold
else that gets this
has
guy
a QBR
fired
of
up,
40.
and that's Hutch not getting to the quarterback, which he didn't do for 3.5 quarters.
I wouldn't say that.
But normal. Well, no, he didn't get there. But what I want to say is that even at 5.5 sacks before he got his 6.5 sack today, despite putting the statistics up, racking those sack totals up, this guy. He is an impact on the game without showing up on the stat sheet, especially this year.
No, it was big plays today too, because the pressures today, he only got cooked that one time where he was a half a step inside, and then Kyler bounced outside and pieced out. We talked about that on the pregame show. But the pressures today were meaningful because you saw Murray have to throw off the back foot. You saw the passes high. You saw the passes wide, all that stuff. So
And on big downs.
And on big plays, yeah, like 3rd and 8s. And
Yes.
What did Arizona, what were they, like 1 for 9 on 3rd down or something like that?
I heard 1 for 7 at the end of the third quarter.
Yeah,
So
okay,
couldn't
so
have gotten much
in that
better for
neighborhood,
them.
it didn't get much better. Like, it was, and it was very good. And like today on the sack, see, and here's the thing too, like people talked about Hutch needs help. On the sack that he got, I didn't hear anybody mention they chose to double Anzari in the moment of truth. The man that was on Hutch left Hutch and came over to double Anzarike. Like that's how it went down. Levi Anzarike through 3 games here
1
is
for
legit.
9 on 3rd down. You're
1
correct.
for 9 they were.
Yep.
So, like that's
And the Lions, on the other hand, were 6 of 12. Only went for one time on 4th down today.
and look, I think we were all arguing the wrong thing, like with Hutch, me included, and you guys included. I think what we were discussing was they said Hutch needs help so he can get to the quarterback. And I think we were all wrong. Hutch needed help just in a talent level in the defense because they improved the talent level of defense. And guys, it's apparent now. Like it's flat out apparent. 20-20-13. 20-20-13 with Stafford, Kyler Murray. You know what I'm saying? Like guys that make a lot of money to be a quarterback in this league. It's not fake. If this isn't the Sam Darnold thing. It's not Sam Darnold Fugazi. Like this is real with the Lions defense. It's real. Another day where they have 77 rushing yards. And like I heard people in the chat today talking about the Lions secondary. They really seem to be struggling. Kyler Murray threw for what did he throw for? 200 yards.
Yeah, not
and
much.
And he got all that in the last drive. Like somebody said that in the chat. Like these are people's thoughts out there. They think this, and that's what's alarming to me. And that's why, Anson, when I hear you say we need to be scared of Sam Darnold and stuff like that, you're closer to them than
I
you
never
are to
said
me.
scared, but I saw some Woodward nonsense today saying that they are not even on our radar. They should be. This whole division should be.
Anson, with where this football team is from a talent perspective and where we think that they're going to be, most likely going to be when it's all said and done, the Vikings are nowhere They're nowhere near being a part of that. Winning divisions.
They
getting
are
to the
in
conference
first in our
champion-
division, though.
Oh, okay, cool.
So they're kind of on the radar.
Okay, all right, cool. You know what they are? They're in first, like the tour championship. How the leader starts with a lead over everybody else. Like, yeah, that's what it is. Cool story, man.
It's the
funny
sixth
thing
of the
is,
season.
Funny thing is they're going to play twice. They'll be playing in division. Just trust me, bro. When this is all said
hope
and
you're
done,
right.
Sam Darnold will end up being Sam
0-2
Darnold
against the Lions?
Yeah.
Now
and
1-1.
And he'll be 0-2.
Now 1-1 against the Lions.
Correct.
I hope
No,
you're right, my
absolutely
friend.
correct. Like, I just
You can't
Thank
get,
you.
Can't get rid of these SOL fans, man.
stick.
New money Lions.
It's an
fans.
epidemic.
It's
All right.
we
so
gotta
let's
do a cleansing.
Hey,
Neil. Hold on, me and Neil are talking. We got to do a cleansing for these fans.
An exorcism.
Because I almost said something last week that I never thought I would ever think, let alone say out loud, and that's that some of these fans don't deserve a championship. They're not championship level fans.
They're not championship material.
Exactly, because they don't have the grit.
Yeah.
They don't have the wherewithal. They see a guy like Sam Darnold have 3 wins, and then they're like, oh, my God, I'm scared of Sam Darnold. It's like, wait a minute. I've seen him have 4 years of dog shit. I'm not scared of Sam Darnold.
And like the other thing too, like, and I
Geno
see this.
Smith?
I saw
Geno
this.
Smith part 2?
I saw this with text that friend sent to me today. I saw it in the chat during the
Geno
watch
Smith's
party.
record against the Lions?
Has he won anything? Answer?
Have the Lions won anything stick?
Yeah, they went to the NFC Championship game last year. What did
Oh,
Geno Smith
what did that
do?
win? A division
Geno Smith
championship
do?
for the first time in
guy just
25
hates
years?
the Lions.
30
Yeah.
No, I
He
love
really
the
hates
Lions.
Lions.
I love the
I'm
Lions.
still talking through
But
something with Neil
listen,
here, please.
no, I need
please. Talking through something with Neil, please.
Oh, my
Thank you.
God.
Yeah. The moral of the story, what I was driving at, is I think you're right, Stick, and here's the data to back up your point there. I saw in the chat repeatedly the people were talking about why is Ben Johnson so bad in the second half? Why is the offense so bad? Like, was I the only one that noticed that the Cardinals totally changed up their pass rush tactics and used stunts and everything? Like, they did this thing where they went in a different direction, and it worked for them. You know what I'm saying? And it's hard to win games on the road in the NFL.
Well, that's
very
what Anson
hard.
and I were talking about. Like, it seems like Ben Johnson comes in with a great game.
Unless you play the
game
Giants.
plan.
Unless you play the Giants like the Vikings did. But go on.
Yeah, no, the Giants are
They're
elite,
legit, yeah.
elite. But
I mean,
no,
they-
that's what I was saying. Like,
They
Ben
did
Johnson
beat the Browns today.
Ben Johnson, the Browns, Jesus Christ.
One of the best defenses in the league, supposedly.
Ben Johnson comes in with a plan. It's a great plan. The defensives make their adjustment. And it doesn't seem like Ben Johnson can make what he, as an adjustment, quick enough in the third quarter. It seems like it always comes, just not to like the fourth quarter. And that's all. Just with him, I'd like to see him make those adjustments a little bit quicker, a little bit more reactionary.
No, and in the chat, Nicholas Duncan, Cardinals changed. We didn't. No, they made adjustments to it. The offense, but you know what the offense did do? And granted, yeah, did they put up points? No. They possessed the ball, though. They moved chains. They moved chains a couple of times. You know what I'm saying? Like, they did do that. Chuck Brewer says Neil Anson needs help.
Listen,
I can't speak to that.
the chat's always
Oh,
going
God.
to say that I need help.
I'm beginning to think that Mason Leach is Flannel Sam's burner. He just said Sam Darnold is statistically better than Goff.
All right, you know what? Have a great day.
Yeah,
I'll be
yeah,
on Big D
yeah.
Energy tomorrow.
Neil,
I can't
love
take
you.
this
I
anymore.
can't do this to you.
All right.
Thank you, Neil. Statistically
My man.
better than Goff.
It's good to see you.
I gotta look that up. Do we have fact checkers in the
Yeah,
chat? Can we fact check that?
Listen, Darnold was excellent today, so I'm sure that his statistics are going to look better right now. I'm not talking about worrying about Sam Darnold. I'm talking about just the fact that the Vikings have a legitimate team 53 deep at this point right now.
Okay, enough of the Vikings postgame show. Can we
no,
talk about the Lions?
I mean, you took it there, bro. You got
I
so
didn't.
upset.
I didn't get
about
upset.
me saying, "Look, there's your boy right there."
No, he's not my boy. That's your boy. And I didn't get upset. It's just like
You got so upset you called Neil over to help you with your point.
I didn't have to. No, because it's just like, Neil,
No,
do you
that's what
do you
happened.
hear what's going on?
No,
This guy is sitting over here telling me to fear Sam Darnold.
Did I say
when
fear?
the Lions just won? The Lions just won.
Yep.
The Lions are 2-1 on the season. The Lions just went on the road against Kyler Murray, who was the hottest quarterback in the league, and the Lions can't contain running quarterbacks. The Lions just checked every box, and here we are talking about how scared we are of the Vikings.
No, I just talked
don't
about
give
the
a
division
damn.
that we're in second place in.
I don't give a damn about the Vikings.
Well,
I don't care if the Vikings are 3-0 right now. 3-0 means nothing to me. Let's talk in 5 to 6 weeks when the Vikings fall back to earth, when Sam Darnold becomes what Sam Darnold has always been, and then we can talk about it. But that's the beautiful thing about sports is time will tell who's right, me or you. But
Cowgirls, Ravens, and 49ers are all 1-2.
You got to love that. You love that. I mean, I would rather the Vikings be 3-0, the Packers be a winning football team, and the teams that I'm actually worried about be struggling right now.
Well, see,
would you not rather that?
Well, one thing that I've learned through fantasy football is to not be too attached to the season before. Because, as you guys mentioned on your show, don't let the future be unencumbered by what has been or whatever that stupid saying is.
Yeah.
But, hey, the clicky. But, you know, the fact is 2 years ago, you look at the Vikings, they won 13 games. We came in last year, everyone was dismissing the Bears. The Bears beat us 3 out of 4 halves in football last year. Everybody was discounting the Packers because Aaron Rodgers was gone. Well, then look what happened with a new quarterback there. And then even with the Vikings were in the playoffs up until the last week of the season. All I'm trying to say is this. The Vikings won today, okay? The Packers won today. And the Bears, who I have never really been afraid of, I don't believe in Caleb Williams. They lost in a game that they could have won. Listen, dude,
and they
we are
won
talking a Lions postgame show. You can throw it up in the air, catch it with your mouth. I don't care. What I'm saying right now is that we are in the NFC North, one of the best divisions in football. And you look at a team who has Malik Willis, and they win 30-14. And you look at a team that has Sam Darnold, and they go out there and they handle business. Well, you can do that all the, but you were crying last week, Mr. Confident.
I wasn't crying.
You were.
I wasn't crying.
You were. You couldn't even handle the show. We ended early because y'all were so mad y'all wanted to fight about Jared Goff.
No, there just wasn't. I mean, I thought we covered the loss. We just got to a point where we were repeating ourselves, and just like you're doing right now.
You and
about
your
Sam
boy
Darnold.
were repeating yourself about Jared Goff. Jared Goff was great today, and we didn't force him to throw the ball a lot.
Was he Sam Darnold?
No, he
great?
certainly was not.
So ridiculous.
He was not as good as Sam Darnold was
But
today.
you're not listening to what I'm saying because you're so hung up on your boyfriend. What I'm saying is, I would rather Sam Darnold and the Vikings start off 3-0 than the 49ers. I would rather Sam Darnold and the Vikings start off 3-0 than the Dallas Cowboys.
Love the 49ers 1-2. Love the Cowgirls 1-2.
Those are the teams we're going to have to face in the end.
But we're still in second place in our own division.
In 3 weeks in, Anson, there's 17 games. We're 1 game back.
Do you like that hook and lateral?
We're 1 game back with 14.
Like that hook and lateral?
Hold on, no. We're 1 game back with 14 games to go. I'm not worried about that.
I'm not worried about them not winning this division either.
But listen to what I'm saying.
Looking past the Vikings is a mistake.
I am looking past the Vikings.
That's very clear.
Because the Vikings have never been there. The Vikings.
They were there 2 years ago. They won the division 2 years ago.
They won the division. Have they ever gone to an NFC championship
Yes.
game? When?
They've been there twice.
When?
Once with
How long ago? Is it relevant to today? That's all I'm asking, right? Like, yeah, okay.
Why are you so offended
in the 70s,
by the fact that the team in first place in our division is a conversation to have?
Because you're focusing on pennies and ignoring dollars. That's what you're doing right now.
All right.
You're focusing on something that is not going to be in front of you.
Did you put your 3,500 pennies or 35,000 pennies or $350 up against my man Leach there?
Yeah, I'll do it. I don't care. Whatever.
In 1,800 and gift certificates,
but
of course.
Regardless, I'm happier that the 49ers lost. I'm happier that the Dallas Cowboys lost. Like, to me, those people struggling are way more important and way more exciting than anything I'm worried about in our division. The Lions can take care of their division, and if they don't take care of the division, they're a good enough team to go on the road and win. We're past all the petty, we need to get 12 wins, we need to get 14 wins. No, this team just needs to get in the dance. That's it, and they need to be healthy and trending at the right time.
Well, if that's the case, then why are you so excited over the 49ers going 1-2? Because you want home field advantage over them?
I don't care about home field advantage. I like seeing the people that I look at as our strongest opponent struggling. That's all. I mean, that's why I don't understand why you're hung up on a weak team that's starting out hot instead of the teams that we're going to have to play.
As
the
I've
team
said
we
all
actually lost
offseason,
to.
I don't think they're weak. Period.
Well,
I don't think they're weak.
okay. You're wrong, but that's okay. But yes, speaking of, let's get back to the Lions game because we've spent an awful lot of time talking about the Vikings. People are asking.
You want to hear some other things I'm worried about? I'm worried about Aleem McNeil, Sam Laporta, Derek Barnes, Terrion Arnold, and Brian Branch. Now, I know Terrion came back, played a really good second half, so I guess I can cross him off that list. Brian Branch took a hit towards the end there, and we've got now 4 guys that are paramount to our defense, guys that we were super stoked about, Aleem McNeil, Derek Barnes, and Brian Branch. All 3 levels we've taken a shot at. And Sam Laporta, who seemed to be a major focus of our offense through the first half, didn't really have him in the second half. Are you concerned about that?
I mean, yes and no. Yes, because you never want your guys injured. No, because it's the NFL and every guy's going to get injured. It's not if, it's when. So if they start piling up and it becomes like, oh God, we got to start all of our second string, fine. But it's the NFL, man. It's a game of attrition. There's going to be injuries. These guys are going to come back. Some of them will. Some of them won't. You would like to think that the Lions' depth is something it hasn't been ever in the history of our lifetime. They're like, oh, Aleem McNeil went down? Okay, well, Reeder's getting a little bit healthy now, so that should help that defensive tackle position. Sam Laporta, obviously, but you saw Brock Wright do his thing today.
I think Laporta, out of everybody I mentioned, is the guy we're most at risk in not having next week.
Brian Branch is the main one I'm worried about. That concussion protocol, you never know how that's going to go. They can extend it a week. They can, you need 10 days or however it is.
A shot he took.
The Lions do play on Monday Night Football next week, though, so that does buy them an extra 24 hours for those concussion-type injuries and stuff like that. That should help. They added 4 people to the secondary. Yep.
Kool-Aid with a little extra love there.
But, yeah, I mean, obviously injuries worry me, but I'm not seeing Jared Goff on that list. I'm not seeing Aiden Hutchinson on that list. I'm not seeing Amon-Ra St. Brown on that. Like, I'm not seeing the big dogs, obviously all these guys are contributors, and you never want to see them go down. Brian Branch is probably, to me, the biggest name on that list.
Laporta actually looked injured.
He came back, though.
Oh, he did?
He did come
he played?
back. Yeah.
Okay, I missed
Laporta
that.
came back.
All right, so we can end things
so
off
did
on a good – I know Terrion came back.
Terrion came back.
We can end things off on a good note, so I'm going to keep hitting you with some things that concerned me. We missed an extra point today.
Yeah.
There's been talk where, hey, we should have kicked the field goal instead of kicking the punt last week. Where are you in, I guess, mirroring the confidence that our coach has in this kicker? Where are you as a fan? Do you want to see us attempting 53-yarders? Do you want to see us punting at that point? Do you want to see us going for 4th down at that point? Because I know over the last 3 years you've changed a lot when it comes down to 4th down. It used to drive you crazy. Now you're okay with it. Now you're kind of into it.
No.
So my question is,
it still drives me nuts. I didn't want him to go for it today.
You didn't?
No.
Okay, so
I wanted to kick a field goal there.
Does that extra point change things for you as a head coach?
No.
Are you less likely to give your kicker that opportunity from 56 yards?
I don't know, because until you give him the opportunity, you can't fail, right? So if you're just going to continue to not give him opportunity, then why even carry the dude on the roster? That's the way I look at it. Why? I mean, he's proven it in the preseason, multiple 50-yard field goals. He's proven it in Ford Field most of all with the Michigan Panthers as well, kicking live game action through the uprights. I don't have any concerns with him, but I also haven't seen him do it. So, I got nothing to go off of right now. Missing an extra point, it happens. I'm not too worried about an extra point. I would rather him miss an extra point than a big field goal.
All right, so we threw the ball over 50 times last week.
Oh, okay. Laporta's just a high ankle sprain.
Just a high ankle sprain. The words were not often combined.
Yeah, just...
Not often combined. All right, so 50-plus, I believe 53 pass attempts last week, 23 this week. What does that mean to you?
I mean, that means the Lions won the ball game. That's
but
essentially what that means. No, but that's the winning formula, right? Like, that means we saw a lot more play-action pass. The Lions were running the ball. They damn near had 200-yard rushers today. And like I said, it's just like, I think the pressure of the season of evolving the offense and getting creative and, like, not to turn this into a Michigan State thing, but a lot of people used to complain about Jim Harbaugh and how boring it was and why are they always running the ball and stuff like that. If you can beat up your opponent doing it, do it. I don't care how boring it is for everybody to watch. If you're winning ball games by outmanning, and that's what you saw in the fourth quarter for the Lions, you saw the line had worn down that Cardinals defense to where every time they handed off the ball, there was a 4 to 5 yard surge.
They couldn't run the ball at all. I mean, they got 77 yards total, and I want to say
no. I'm talking about our offensive line wore on Arizona's defense so much where in the fourth quarter they were just able to take control again. Because that's the thing. I mean, early in the game you may be able to stop the run against the Lions. But after taking 3 quarters, 45 minutes of Penei Sewell punching you in the face over and over, by the time that 50th minute hits, your body's had enough. Whether your mind is still there and wanting to do it, your body's going to tell you, hey, it's time to shut it down. And that's what we saw today with the Detroit Lions. That's what we saw in overtime against the Rams when they got the ball. Like, all right, they're tired. We're dogs. Let's just punch them in the mouth. And that's what they did.
And I could have seen more runs from the Lions, especially in that second half. But what we were able to do in that first half, controlling time of possession, controlling the ball, and really just opening up the play action, which we didn't really need in the second half because it wasn't a shootout. But this game, if Arizona put points up in the second half, I don't doubt that the Lions would have had no problem scoring 30-plus points in this game.
Yeah, it just didn't seem like they wanted to.
They
honestly,
didn't need to.
Yeah, because I was talking to Neil in the third quarter, and it was like, I don't think that the Lions are just trying to hang on to the game, but it doesn't feel like they're trying to just put their foot on their throat. It seems like they know they got them on the ropes, and they're okay just throwing body shots not to get knocked out themselves. Like, at no point did the Lions not have control of this ball game.
Well, yeah, and it wasn't so much of a wanting this game. Do we want to blow them out? Do we want to win? Do we want to just not lose? It was more a matter of them saying, we're not going to give this game away. We're not going to start putting the ball in the air. We're not going to start taking chances. Realistically, that's exactly what left the door open for Baker Mayfield and the Bucs to win last week, was the turnovers and the bad plays that probably should have turned out into more turnovers. But this was a game where we understood the control. I felt like in the first 2 weeks, Ben Johnson was just trying new things. And he felt so confident in where we were on the scoreboard and in control of the game, even though we lost one of those, that he said, well, let's try some things that I like to work on, and I wanted to see if we could bring it to the offense. But now, let me go one step further. We did see one of those plays today in the hook and lateral. And to me, that was something where instead of trying a lot of this stuff, they just threw in a few of those wrinkles, and they worked.
And that's the way it should be. Like, you should be boring. Like when they fake punts, right? I thought the fake punt last game was brilliant. Everybody wasn't paying attention. Nobody knew what the hell was going on.
Emotionally brilliant.
Next thing you know, Jack Fox is like, and that's what it should be with those little fun gadget plays for Ben Johnson. That can't be your identity. Your identity's got to be punch you in the mouth, punch you in the mouth, punch you in the mouth, punch you in the mouth.
Yeah.
And then when you're dodging getting punched in the mouth,
you get up, another shot to the mouth.
When you're finally reacting to the punch in the mouth, that's when you throw in the haymaker, right? That's when you throw in the right hook. And that's what those plays have to be. And I thought they timed it out perfectly because you saw the pursuit of the defense. They were so used to on the slant, covering that, on the slant, covering that, on the slant, covering that. And then the minute they covered that, next thing you know, Jahmyr Gibbs running out here. And, I mean, the balls to call that play. And it's just, that's the stuff that put Ben Johnson on the map as an elite offensive coordinator. And for him, like we said earlier in the show, I think it was he has so many toys and he wanted to get all of them involved, and he wanted to show off the new JMO. He wanted to let Jared Goff bomb it down the field. But sometimes going back to the old faithful is kind of fun.
Yeah, and honestly, it's got to be a little frustrating. We talked about it on Wednesday with Dan Miller again, going back to that question about is the emphasis on developing JMO in this offense taking away from what Laporta is? And Dan's answer was, you just have so many weapons in this offense that week to week, some guys are going to shine, some guys are going to take a back seat, but it doesn't really matter when the offense continues to click. And that's what we saw today. The offense clicked even when the Lions, like you said, got to that point where Dan's answer was, you just have so...
That's me. Sorry, go
It's
ahead.
all right. So even when you get to that point where maybe you didn't want more and you were complacent being ahead, realistically, this team is at a point with all of the different weapons that what I loved about the play calling today was when we got to that point where we're in the lead, instead of getting cute, trying new things, trying to get the ball to the guys that, JMO didn't hit 50 yards today. I bet a lot of guys would have loved to have seen that. They didn't try to get him 50 yards. They said, let's just run this ball down their throat. Let's just finish this game out.
Hey, yo, you there?
Yes.
Hey, we got you live on the postgame show, man.
Oh, perfect.
Everybody, welcome to the postgame show. Steve Robertson, he's a longtime listener. He's from Rochester, Michigan, but he moved to Arizona 10 years ago. He was at the game today. What was it like? What was the atmosphere like inside the game today?
It was unreal. It was 10-1 Lions fans. It was absolutely a home game. Every person I met that was wearing a Lions jersey, I kid you not, either moved here recently or was visiting somebody here, but people flew out. People got on an airplane, flew out to support the Lions.
How much was a ticket to the game today?
We paid $135. We bought some season ticket passes from a Cardinals fan that gave up a couple of their passes. So we were 8th row, right in the back of the end zone. Got to see it all.
Man.
Watching and listening to this game, like Stick said, this was yet another home game for the Lions on the road. Every time I heard a whistle go against the Cardinals, the crowd was cheering.
It was electric. I was taking videos and pictures. There was more blue than red in the stadium by far.
Yeah, the reason I asked about the ticket price, though, is because tickets obviously at Ford Field now are absolutely insane. So you could essentially, two of you, fly to Arizona, pick up a couple $50 tickets,
same price,
and pay almost the same price as you would going to Ford Field. So it's wild.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
So you said it was definitely more Lions fans, and there's so many people that have left Detroit that this is a problem for the rest of the country as well. How are the Cardinals fans to the takeover?
6 minutes via I-17 South.
Oh, sorry. Hold on.
It's fine.
We're we're in the car. Yeah, it's a lot of people out here that are from Michigan, but as far as the atmosphere, I mean, I went to a Red Wing. We'll put it this way: I went to a Red Wings game a few years ago. Had some people out from Michigan. Said, "Hey, let's get some Wings tickets. They're in town." It was the same thing. 10-1 Wings fans out here. I mean, Detroit sports fans are incredible.
Yeah, it's nice to be able to rock that Lions jersey and not be embarrassed, huh?
Oh, it's very nice. I don't know if you remember, but I was on the first week I left the bar. I was the guy that left the bar early because I 4 minutes left. I don't know, and then they come back and win miraculously. Jared Goff carries them through, and same old Lions died for that. Same old Lions died for me that day. But
what jersey were you wearing?
I got a Laporta jersey. I searched for one his rookie year, could not locate one. Looked everywhere. Finally located a Laporta jersey. They started making them, but I'm a huge Sam Laporta fan. I think what he contributes to the team is just amazing, and I love his grit and determination.
Well, man, we appreciate the pictures that you were sending me. We put them up on Woodward Sports. I believe we put them up on Instagram and Twitter. So a lot of the stuff that you were sending me all day long today, man, I appreciate you calling. And he got my number when I gave out my number after the first postgame show.
Nice. I was wondering who this guy was.
Yeah, I never met the guy.
Fantastic.
But now we're best friends, and when I go visit my family in Arizona, guess who I'm hitting up?
Shout out, Don.
Yeah, dude, hit me up. And when I come back to Michigan to visit, I got to come down to the studio.
Yes,
anytime,
sir.
man. You're more than welcome. Appreciate all the content you gave us today, and glad you had fun at the game, buddy.
Perfect. Thanks for calling.
See ya.
Good stuff there.
Isn't that awesome?
That was a risk putting that number out there, but it seems like it's been rewarded.
You know, I gotta give credit to all of our fans at Woodward Sports. Like, when I put out my personal phone number after game 1, my phone was blowing up that whole night, but not much during the week. You know, no random weirdness, no.
That's a great segue.
Yeah.
I just found out yesterday that a bunch of fans showed up at Dan Campbell's house, and now he's looking for a new address. This is fill me in.
Yeah, it was actually after the game last year. Supposedly his address got doxxed, and some people sent fake workers over to his house as like a prank to do like, oh, your gas leaks, I'm gonna go into your basement and stuff like that. And it got kind of creepy.
That's weird.
And then this time after the loss, some people showed up, so Dan's just moving, which is. But his house is beautiful. I don't know if you got to see like the cribs.
I got a question for you. Do you think they showed up like mad about the loss, or like, dude, we still love you, brought a Sixer?
I either way, leave the man alone at his house.
No doubt about that.
I am probably one of the biggest Dan Campbell's freaks you'll ever meet, but I
you
would,
ain't showed
I
up
would
on his doorstep.
never, ever. Now, if he showed up at my house unannounced,
Come on
in, Dan. Let's talk some football. Like, whatever you want, baby. Let's
we
do
watched
this.
it upstairs, and the man came downstairs.
Dan, whatever you want. You want to lay in bed and watch some film? We can do that. Like, I don't care if Dan comes to my house. But I am not going to Dan Campbell. Remember Dominic Raiola? Yep. Remember when he was the Lions center and he was getting into it with some fans and he told him to come to his house, gave out his address, and told him he'd fight him on his front lawn? Like, could you imagine Dan
partied with that guy a couple times, and he would have been a man of his words.
Oh, yeah.
You know what? When we were losing, that guy still bled Honolulu Blue, man.
Yeah.
Shout out. And shout out to your son down in Nebraska.
Yeah. I actually, a picture popped up from Tonic nightclub back in the day when I was hosting with, it was Dominic Raiola, me, Brandon Pettigrew.
Oh, boy.
And Jerome Felton.
Oh, man,
I was
way
like,
back.
Good God. I was going to post it. Like, if you can name any of these people, you are a true Lions fan. Good old Pettigrew used to party.
Yes, he did.
All those guys used to party.
He liked to party.
And you know what? It may not be because I'm old now and I'm not hosting all the clubs like I used to. I don't hear about this team and these guys being out like that.
No, not really. Not at all.
And even like, the guys that I know that do go out downtown and stuff, it's not like these guys are out in public like they used to be.
They got something to do.
Yeah,
they got games to win.
Listen, I used to get Sean Rogers so fucked up on a Thursday night at Venue in Dearborn that he would miss walkthroughs and get in trouble. Oh, man. Like, and those were the days that
late night with Chuck Rogers. That's for sure.
Yeah, those were the days that like Teddy Lehman was coming out, James Hall would come out, but James Hall was always a stand-up dude. He would just drink tequila like it was water. Unbelievable.
He's a big man.
Dude, they pull out their black cards and just buy bottles like nothing. Wild. Absolutely wild to be. But honestly, those old Lions didn't take it serious. Like, I know they didn't take it serious because I was there with them taking it serious.
What was there to be taken seriously, though, you know?
Yeah, but part of you is like, if you all took it serious, you wouldn't be so shitty, you know?
But they knew at least 48 other guys weren't.
Yeah, so with these Lions, you're not hearing that these guys are club guys. These guys are football guys, and that's it. Like J-Mo's the only one you hear about, but it's not him in the club. It's him at a Coney at like 4 in, on 6 Mile, which is fine.
Awesome.
Yeah, embrace the city.
No
safer place.
J-Mo, you should not be there, but I love your love for Detroit. Love it. Let's jump into, unless you got something else.
I'm just scrolling through the chat.
Let's talk about Week 4. We got the Seahawks. Week 5, we've got a bye, which I hate how early it is, and then we come back for the Cowgirls. So we've got a really tough yet could be possibly easy stretch here because the Seahawks, as good as they look today, this is a team, they're coming to Detroit. Mm-hmm. We've had them on our bulletin board for, well, this is our third year now. And so this is a game that everybody in Detroit has been wanting since week 2 of last year and even before that. And then a little bit of time off. Might be going to Tulum, but I will miss you. And then I'll be back for us to
You're going during the bye week?
I'm trying. I'm working on it.
I'm going on my honeymoon during the bye week.
Oh, to Tulum?
No, I should have done that. Had I known. No, I wanted to do that, but we couldn't get her passport changed in time, so we're just going to St. Thomas.
Okay, that's not bad.
Yeah, it's not bad, but it's not like, I don't know.
Are you staying at St. Thomas the whole time?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because there's in St. John, which is very close, they have all of these rooms built in trees. Yeah, I guess it's pretty amazing. But how do you feel about the Seahawks next week?
As always, I'm worried about the Seahawks.
Right.
I mean, it's the Seahawks. They're
Kool-Aid worried about the Seahawks.
They're the team that gets you. They're the team that gets you, and I don't know why we're always a victim to the Seahawks. They're not more talented than the Lions. I think the Lions got something for them this year.
I think so too.
I mean, Pete Carroll's had our number. I don't know.
Pete's gone. So is his gum.
That's right. So I don't know, but it's like you said earlier in the show. Carrying over year to year is tough, and I don't see the Seahawks as they've gotten a ton better.
Yeah,
they're not as dynamic.
I really didn't think they were. Today they looked very, very good.
Yeah.
DK obviously with a big play. JSN has supplanted Tyler Lockett as the number 2. Our boy, my boy, Michigan State's very own Kenneth Walker has been out the last 2 games, and Michigan's very own Charbonnet has been a stud for 2 straight weeks. So doesn't really matter what running back we see or if we see both. We know that we're going to get a healthy dose of the run game from Seattle. It's all going to come down to, can we stop DK Metcalf? And are we not going to allow either Tyler Lockett or Jackson Smith and Jigba to go off? Because if we can hold all 3 of those guys and keep them under maybe 120 yards total, 140 yards total between the 3 of them, this should be a cakewalk.
I don't want to say cakewalk. I would love that. I would love a stress-free fucking beatdown of Seattle. You know, like you're up 35-14 in the 4th quarter. We can all kick our feet up and have a good time. Start the pregame show early. I would love that.
And speaking of the pregame show,
or the postgame show, sorry.
That's where I was. Pregame show, second best bar down in Detroit.
Yep.
Go and check it out. Get your fantasy lineups tight. Find out everything about the Lions before the game, and then come and join us. We are right now here at Hayes Lounge. Place was jacked.
Lounge.
And they, well, what is it? Hayes Social, excuse me. Hayes Lounge, Hayes Social. It's loungy, it's social, but it was packed in here. Had a great time. People hung around after the game because we won.
Yeah.
We will be back here for the watch party.
It is
and
crazy.
then the post-game show as well.
Last week after a loss, like it was like people leaving and they were exiting a plane. Like everybody got up at the same time, just walked the hell out. Today it was like, all right, let's get some blue shots, some 1800 tequila. Shout out to James in the chat. Stick, top 5 fluids. Not tonight, but eventually. I don't know if you know this, but Big D Energy does a top 5 list every week. Okay. This week was top 5 fluids.
Root beer? Root beer?
Root beer did not make the list.
Sarsaparilla?
No, that did not make the D-Mac had blood on his list. I thought was a good one. But there was one that I could not believe.
Fluids?
Yeah, I couldn't believe. There was one fluid that I couldn't believe wasn't on the list.
I know what that one is.
Yeah, I know. Right? Like the fluid that made us all here.
When
you
get your juices flowing.
Yeah, like without it, we're not made. Like without it, there's no humans. So how could that?
And in either side of it, it's pretty important.
Spenny had the female version on his.
Oh, okay. I would have as well.
Sweet nectar, he called it.
Well, that's
sweet nectar.
pretty much what it is.
Top 5 lists on Big D Energy.
What would your number 1 fluid be?
I told you, the fluid that creates life. Like, what more do you have to do as a fluid?
Wouldn't that be number 2, though?
No.
Well, because, okay.
Yeah, we'll get into that. Spenny had it covered. See, people that watch Big D Energy know. And if you're new to Woodward Sports, make sure you like and subscribe. That's Big D Energy. We got Wake Up Woodward happening every day, 8 to 10 a.m. with Kool-Aid. We got Broder. We got Flannel Sam, KG in the sound booth, and, of course, JB. And then, of course, Big D Energy. And then Ermanni and Edwards with Maz and sometimes Anson.
Wednesdays.
And then, of course, the heavyweights are on from 5 to 7. That's daily. Right here on Woodward Sports, and then game days are just wild. Buck wild with us.
All-star cast,
Yeah,
man.
starting with Woodward and Maine at, I believe, 8 in the morning, and then we roll into the pregame show from 10 to noon, and then we get the watch party 15 minutes before the game, during the game, and then us after every game right here on Woodward Sports. Got to give a shout-out to 1800 Tequila for making this possible. They are huge supporters of the postgame show. Also, Tullamore Dew.
Did you know that there's
New
a shot
Holland.
glass in the top of this?
Yeah, I did.
It's pretty amazing.
Yep, I did.
So
But yeah, 1800. That's what's up.
Let me put your ass to the fire here. Seahawks or Lions?
Lions.
Lions?
I'm
I'm going to go with the Lions as well.
Yeah, Lions by 17. Let's do 31-14. I'm going to give you my score prediction. 31-14.
Okay, I'm going 27-20. What I felt like the Lions did today was everything that I needed to see. Last week, they just beat themselves. I don't think that Tampa Bay beat them. I felt that their play calling was poor. I felt that Goff didn't feel comfortable. And I felt like we got away from the strength of not only our offense, but that put our defense into a situation where they were capitalizing on our weaknesses.
I don't know. I have a whole different perspective of last week now than I did last week.
Well, for me, coming out and seeing them completely flip the script 180 based on how much running versus how much passing, I felt the Lions got it this week. I felt that their confidence has been reestablished, and I think that next week, I said 27, I wouldn't be surprised to see 30-plus from this team.
Yeah. And, Dan Campbell addressed that in his press conferences this week. Like, all right, yeah, man, sometimes it takes a long time to get going, man.
Yeah.
Could be 5 weeks, man.
Especially when your starters don't play all preseason.
Yeah, there is that. But, yeah, last week's loss, I felt bad. And then I went and looked and watched the game. And obviously when you look at
How many times you watched the game?
I only watched the game twice this week.
That's it?
I know. It was a slow week. I don't
That's
like
fair.
watching losses more than twice. They're hard for me to watch. I still haven't watched the NFC Championship game. I don't know if I'll ever rewatch that game. I don't know if I can. But either way,
haven't.
yeah, I can't watch that game.
I haven't watched the game against the Redskins way back when they were the Redskins in '92.
But as much as last week was frustrating, by all aspects, the Lions dominated that game.
last week,
Yeah. They dominated every single aspect of the game. They dominated time of possession. They dominated yards. The turnovers, they did not dominate. But in the one stat that killed them was 1-7 in the red zone, which will never happen again. If it does, it's maybe 1 in 100 that happens again. So, I look at last week, they didn't get outplayed. They just couldn't put the ball in the end zone when they needed to. And call it what you will, they easily could have won that game. They did win that game by all accounts if you're a statistical guy. So they didn't get outplayed. Baker Mayfield didn't even throw for 200 yards. Yeah, 117 were to Godwin in the first half, but then he ended up with pretty much just that, so they made their adjustment there. So last week, yeah, it sucks that they got the L, but like I said earlier, if Jared Goff throws a touchdown in that last 30 seconds, we're talking about how great of a game it was and how they dominated the whole way through, and it should have never been so close.
yeah, when you do everything to win a game, but you're behind in the score, lesser teams will come out the next week and let that reflect in their execution. Lions did not do that today. Lions took all of the problems they had from last week, turned them into lessons that they clearly learned from. They showed us on the field of play today, and they got the win. So for me, we talked about this last week. I know we didn't talk long, but we said that this had to be.
It was a 45-minute show, man. What are we going to do?
But we talked about this having to be a good loss. And it had been a long time since you and I talked about good losses, and this one was. This one was a loss that the Lions understood that they were a better team than what they showed last week, and they came out and not just put together a win, but they exerted their will. They controlled this game from the very first possession when they went down and scored a touchdown, all the way up until they left the door just to crack open. They said, no, we're stepping on your throats. This game's over. And I think that they kind of needed that, the same way that Detroit Lions fans needed that. We were worried this week. A lot of Lions fans were worried. I think that the entire team comes back this next week ready for, again, a team that we've had up on our bulletin board for a few years now. And I think that you're not going to see that squeaker, that tight game that you're going to be cardiac catting all the way through. I think that the Lions go and handle business at Ford Field right before they get a week off for the bye week.
Yeah, and that's crazy. They start out the season with 3 games at home, 3-1 at home.
It's a little concerning, but they've got to be 3-1 after.
Yeah. Steve Robertson, who we just talked to on the phone, does this win put the Lions at 9-0 after a loss, even against the spread? 8-0. 8-0 after a loss for Dan Campbell now. So, yeah, I mean, that's pretty damn good. Hey, Justin, can you do me a favor and throw up the 1800 read so we could talk about the lovely people at Cuervo who make this post-game possible?
You remember when this stuff first came out? I was so all over it all the time.
That was
the drink of choice in my house for years.
I remember going to Space Nightclub in Detroit with DJ Lisa, who requested only bottles of 1800 in the DJ booth.
What was the
Lisa and Stacy Hot Wax
what was the
Ale.
Dominatrix?
Brutal Betty.
Brutal Betty.
Shout
out.
with the midgets.
Oh, man, she got a hold of one of my
midgets.
buddies one night. He was like, what the hell just happened to me?
Yeah, the Dominatrix got you.
Man,
Either way,
space.
1800 Tequila, the official tequila of the Detroit Lions and the Lions postgame show here at Hayes Social. 21 Mile and Hayes in Shelby Township. Make sure you come out here for all your Lions games. Woodward Sports is going to be here for every single one of them. We do the watch parties here, so that way you guys can come, drink, have some fun with us, eat some food. Soroki's is in the building as well. They drop off a ton
Honey
of food.
biscuits.
I love that Brady texts me, if there's anything left, can you bring it to the office tomorrow? It's like, bro, what are you doing, Brady? You could have taken whatever the hell you wanted out of here.
Brady, make sure you put that napkin over to them khakis, buddy.
But anyway, shout out to 1800. Thank you guys for sponsoring the postgame show, which is, by the way, the most watched show on Woodward Sports in volume. Has nothing to do with us, everything to do with the timing and the Lions, but we're here, and we thank you guys for spending the time with us. Stick, give out your phone number again. I'm laughing my ass off. Freddie, I don't know if today's the day to do that.
Freddie Fell?
And honestly, I would if there was a way like to have a switchboard on my phone so I could take multiple calls. But even when we got calls to come through, we couldn't get them on because more people kept calling.
Woodward, if one of you guys want to send in a burner for stick,
Yeah.
we'll handle it.
It wasn't even about that. It's just one line and the beep, beep, with people trying to get through. That's the problem. Like, I don't mind my phone number being out there. I mean, my bounce house business is my phone number.
It did
Like,
blow up
it
last week.
was absolutely insane. But, yeah, definitely shout out to everybody in the chat. We appreciate you. Are you ready for the Social Security number, Detroit Dabber? I mean, you probably got all that information with the FICAPs, Dabber. I don't know. But overall, just a happy, fun, we could take a breath. And what a beautiful sports weekend it was here in the state of Michigan. The Tigers got 2 of 3 from Baltimore. They are now a half game up and in.
Oh, they won today?
Oh, they won today.
And Minnesota lost.
Yeah.
What happened to KC?
I don't know.
Because we're about to end up, I mean, we can almost have a home game.
Well, you're going to have a home game in the playoffs. In Major League Baseball, it's like basketball.
Oh, yeah, they don't do the play-in, the one-game play anymore.
No,
That's
we're
over.
not going to be a part of 163.
It's over.
Nope, not a part of
I
163.
hated that.
Yeah, the one game. You play 162
Minnesota ruined
games.
that for us already.
162 games decided by one. But no, the Tigers won. I know you're not a Michigan guy, but Michigan looked damn good.
I watched that whole game. Did they look damn good?
Okay.
Because
They looked like Sam Darnold.
Okay.
There you go. So Michigan, they took down Sam Darnold's team. Is that why you don't like them?
No. I just felt like the failed fourth down conversion where they gave them the extra yard anyway, and the 2 missed third down face mask and the horse collar third down miss face mask.
Who'd state play?
And the fourth down conversion that they got after they snapped 2 seconds after the play clock had died. I watched the state game as well. I watched
who did they
both
play?
games.
Who did State play?
They played Boston College, and they lost in the very last drive. It was also a great game. They didn't have their top 2 wide receivers. So it wasn't a great day for Michigan. It was a mostly great day for Michigan.
Yeah, it was a
fans.
great weekend for Michigan sports fans. I'm sorry. Like, all the way around. I know Spenny,
Cheaters win a lot. It's okay. Cheaters win often.
Yeah, that's if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. So, sorry. I mean, sorry the scandals that come out of Michigan State aren't just stealing signs.
I know. No, the scandals out of Michigan. I mean, if you really want to go there, 170 years worth, I can just drown you in them.
Come on. Listen. Michigan State cannot have this conversation.
Well,
With
I mean,
what
if we're
just happened
talking
to
about
your head
stealing
coach-
40s.
What just happened to your head coach and what happened to your gymnastics doctor? You
Whoa,
can't stand.
You don't want to go to the gymnastics doctor because no one was hiding that. All right? For 3 decades, Michigan was literally threatening players in practice to send them to Dr. Bob. Let's talk about the Lions.
Yeah, either way. Let's talk about the Lions. God, Michigan State fans are insane.
No.
Yeah, listen,
No.
you know I don't have a dog in the fight, but over the past 2 years, what Michigan State fans have turned into is just crazy to me. Like Spenny talking trash to Michigan after they lost to Texas, and you
Have
guys
I
you guys
ever
beat
wavered
Maryland.
in my consistency about talking about Michigan and the fact that they do everything in their wheelhouse, everything in their toolbox that they can to keep down every other university in the area, including their athletes and human beings. I've never wavered from that. So I don't really care whether Michigan's up or Michigan State's down. But if you're going to jock Michigan, and I'm not going to just allow you to forget about the type of franchise program that you're supporting. So
Okay.
all you guys at home that hate me in the chat, I really don't care.
I know you don't, especially in this show. You've been very combative this show on
Well, you know
certain
what?
things.
Listen, all you guys want to do is fight about golf or get up and
don't
high
want-
up and down, high up and down. Fact is, where we are as a franchise, it's night and day from where we've spent our lifetimes.
Oh yeah, and I
as
don't want to
Lions
fight
fans.
about golf, but just like I witness every damn watch party in the chat, like golf, perfect first half, 2 touchdowns,
12 for 12.
12
Perfect.
for 12. Nobody's like, golf's doing well. No, none of that. The minute he throws it, golf can't play.
How many points did he score in the second half?
Every time he drops
But how many
back, I'm
points did he
scared.
score in the second half?
I don't know.
None.
Does it matter? They won the game.
Oh, no, I'm not getting. I'm not going there. And when I said it's with the Seahawks game, I think that this game was just one where they needed to figure out, hey, we're still that team. As long as we don't get outside of what we do well, we won't beat ourselves. They came in. They did not beat themselves. 1 turnover. That's it. Next week, they have an opportunity to really step on this Sea Chicken team and just make up for the last 2 times we've lost to them that have absolutely affected our seasons. And this is a Lions team that they've got to show us, as good as the defense is, they've got to show us that the offense is still as good too.
Yeah, and they are. I mean, the offense is just as good. It's just the timing's not there yet. And,
That's true.
You know, whether you want to blame that on them not playing in preseason or whatever you want to blame it on, but they're just not there yet, and that's okay. It's a 17-game season. As long as they're trending in the right direction at the right time, we know the talent's there.
Yeah.
We know the scheme is there.
Yep.
We got the players to execute it. So I'm not worried about the offense. But I have been overly impressed by the defense.
Yes.
We're 3 games into the season,
Really good.
and the defense has carried the Detroit Lions.
What?
If this team had last year's defense, the Lions could be 0-3 right now.
You're not wrong there at all. You're not wrong there at all.
I mean, because you think that it took them overtime to beat L.A., so you would assume they would have given up some more points in regulation with last year's defense. I mean, they lost game 2. That probably in this game they probably
Could have.
They probably would have lost. I mean, last year's team isn't holding Kyler Murray to under 200 yards passing, and they're definitely. I mean, he had his way rushing probably in the first quarter, but outside of that, Kyler Murray's legs were not a factor in the second half.
He had his way, but still as a team, even with his 30 or so yards, they only had 77 yards rushing. That's massive. Massive for this team.
Uh-oh, I think I hurt someone's feelings in the chat.
Oh, yeah? That's okay. They'll get over it.
Blue Lantern. Since Stick says Lions fans and State fans suck at being fans, I guess it's okay for me to say Stick sucks at sports talk. Like, yeah,
Go green, my friend.
you can say it. But that doesn't mean I'm wrong. And Lions fans don't suck. Like, I love Lions fans. It's you new motherfuckers that have come to the party that are ruining it for everybody because you weren't there for the lows, so you don't know how to handle the highs. And you panic at every single thing. And if it doesn't go right, you're no longer a fan anymore. Like,
Would that be
us real fans who have been around since day one and have taken the real
Would
beatings.
that be very similar to the panic that Michigan fan has when very appropriately we point out their malfeasances and cheating and record before and after Connor Stallions? Or would that just be Michigan State
Record
fans
after
being bad fans ever since Michigan went on a run?
I mean, record after Connor Stallions, Michigan hasn't lost a Big Ten game in 3 years.
Have you seen
they've lost
the
odd
record
game.
pre and post Connor Stallions?
But this is what you're reaching for straws,
That's
bro.
not reaching at all,
They
bro.
just beat the
It's
number
fucking
11 team.
cheating.
They just beat the number 11 team
Did
in the
they?
nation while you
Did
got your
they?
ass kicked by
Did
Boston
they?
College.
Bro,
Suck it.
You didn't fucking watch the games.
Yes,
Keep
I
your mouth
did.
shut,
You
homie.
guys lost to
You
Boston College.
First of all, you
Boston
didn't go to
College.
fucking either squad, all right?
Doesn't matter.
And Michigan had that fucking game handed to them with the most timely bullshit fuck up calls I've ever seen. Green, y'all fucking know what I'm talking about. And fuck you, Michigan fans. So eat that.
And that's the vocabulary of a Michigan State
Well,
Spartan,
you're
ladies
gonna
and
throw it at me,
gentlemen.
I'm going to throw it back.
I was just saying, lad, Michigan State, like, if you're going to sit here and, like, puff your chest over losing to Boston College,
No,
I don't know what
didn't.
to tell you.
I didn't
I don't know what to
puff
tell you.
my chest.
Don't
You
panic,
just talking
Erickson.
about Michigan State fan not being able to fan
Over the past
when
2
you
years.
guys are literally
Not you
on your
guys.
knees for a team that cheated
I didn't
to
go
a
to
championship.
Michigan. Michigan's not you guys.
Then why you keep calling us we?
Because you are Michigan State,
No,
aren't
you
you?
were saying we. You were saying
Yeah.
we about Michigan. You ain't Michigan.
I'm not Michigan.
You didn't go. Then why?
I went to
then
uni-
don't say
I went to
we.
University of
then
Detroit.
Stop saying we
Michigan is better than Michigan State.
this year. Are they? We'll see in October 26th. Let's go.
It's so crazy to me how Michigan State fans are delusional. But either way, it's the new Lions fans that are really frustrating because, like, us grizzled Lions fans,
You
we've been through it.
literally are going to call my fan base delusional while you guys are sitting there propping yourself up on a team that cheated? You
guys,
think it's funny?
I
you
do
think it's funny? I
do
bet
think
you
it's
do.
funny.
I bet you
think
do.
It's funny.
I bet you
I
do,
think,
man.
I think Michigan winning a national championship has broken
With-
Michigan State.
no, it hasn't.
It's broken,
The thing is you guys have done nothing in 75 years except for hit a couple free throws in overtime. Shout out Ramil Robinson. Because all y'all did was share a championship and cheat for another. Nothing. Nothing at all. You took it here. You want to call out my fan base and Spartans?
Michigan
I'ma
State fan
stick up.
base is the biggest little brother energy over the past 2 years. It
yeah.
is, and I'm
Oh,
not
yeah.
a part of this.
I know, because
But it is,
it's
but-
really easy to watch a team cheat and get rewarded for it and keep your mouth shut.
Winners focus on winning, losers focus on winners. Isn't that the saying?
No, I've never focused.
And that's what Michigan State fans do. They focus on winners. Michigan. Yeah. Yeah.
You done?
Not as done as Michigan State's program. Go Green.
You done? You want to wrap it up?
No, I don't want to wrap it up. The Lions won, man. I'm having a good time today.
I know you
I
are.
got juices here. I got Kool-Aid. We got the bar going on. My boy Rod's over there. He came to see me for the watch party. We're celebrating Jared Goff almost having a perfect game.
It's kind of different from when you cried and threw a temper tantrum last week,
what
though,
was
right?
his QBR? What was his QBR? Was it a perfect QBR this game? And I didn't cry at all.
You did, man. You literally fought with Easy the whole program.
Because
you guys were mad about Jared Goff.
No, because people can't be consistent, right? All week I heard about how Matthew Stafford tore up the Lions, and Matthew Stafford had a great game. When Matthew Stafford threw the ball 50 times for 300 yards. Jared Goff did the same thing, and the people that say he had a great game, what's that? QBR's not in there. But people that say that Goff had a bad game were the same ones saying Stafford. Like, that's all. I get frustrated with inconsistency. And with Easy, he has no accountability. I mean, I show him tweets of what he said about Jared Goff, and he's like, I'm not a Goff hater. And it's like, no, it literally says.
Oh, we all know
you're a Goff hater. So, that's where I get frustrated with Easy, and I get frustrated with Goff haters. Like I said, the people in the chat during the watch party today. When Goff's doing well, they crickets. The minute something goes wrong, I don't trust this guy. They'll never win with Goff. You paid too much money for him. And it's like, you don't keep that energy until you have your opportunity. And that's what I hate about the Goff haters. If you're going to hate him all the time.
Well, I mean,
but hate him while he's got your team
Detroit
winning.
fans expect every quarterback that they're going to embrace to have 17 perfect games. We talked about this last week. There's no quarterback in history that's come out and had 17 great games. Goff last week should have had 3. He should have had 4, maybe even 5 interceptions. He was really, really bad. But our coaching staff put him in a situation to be bad, not only with the play calling, but with the decisions that they made. So for me, I'm not getting lost on Jared Goff or one guy on this offense. Some of these things are concerning, though. Our depth is getting chipped away at with all of these injuries that we have right now. We still don't have DJ Reader actually contributing. That's our major league splash. So as much as we're excited about this 2-1 team, and I think we're going to be a 3-1 team going into the bye, should I say, there's still some question marks here. And, as high as you might be right now and high as Lions fans are right now, Lions fans got to remember where they were last week. And they need to just grab a hold of something because this isn't going to be decided in 18 weeks.
Yeah, crazy clown. Exactly, Stick. That's the way they are. They would rather have Goff be bad and lose than Goff be good and win because they want to be correct. And that's the way I feel about the Goff detractors. And at some point, can't you just be like, hey, this is my guy. This is the Lions quarterback. I'm ride or die with Jared Goff no matter what. What is holding back people from making that commitment? Do you think? Like an easy,
because he's just not the exciting Jalen Hurts.
Patrick
Mahomes.
Is awful now.
The fact is everybody wants that top 6 guy you're drafting in fantasy drafts. They want the Lamar. They want the Patrick Mahomes. They want the Josh Allen. They want the guy that can run and launch at 75 yards downfield. But the fact is when you look at who's won championships over the last 15 years, outside of Patrick Mahomes, none of those guys that you draft high in your fantasy drafts are winning championships.
That's what I'm saying. What? Great, you want Lamar Jackson. What the hell has he done besides win an MVP and
Twice.
Nothing in the playoffs?
Twice.
Yeah, but would you?
100%.
Jared Goff has had
Hurts.
infinite more playoff success than Lamar Jackson, right?
Yeah, I'd say so. I mean, I wouldn't say infinitely, but yes, certainly he's gone further.
Been to a Super Bowl, and he almost took the Lions there last year,
Yep.
right? That's why it just frustrates me so bad. I don't know what else the guy has to do. I really don't know.
He has to go to a Super Bowl. Period. I mean, listen, if Jared Goff never goes to a Super Bowl, but if Jared Goff never goes to a Super Bowl, he will be thought of as the same as Matt Stafford when he's done here. That's the facts.
No.
I'm going to tell you right now.
No, wait. The guy that Matt Stafford never won a playoff game.
Listen,
Matt Stafford never won a division.
It might be enough for you, Sam, but the city of Detroit wants more. And if he never gets to a Super Bowl, I'm going to tell you right now.
It's cute to want, but that doesn't fucking matter what you want.
But the fact is,
you got to acknowledge
but
what
we're talking
is.
about Detroit sports fan, okay? They're not the most, they're not the most sane, all right? Let's be real. We know that we've never gotten a call unless you're wearing maize and blue in sports history. Lions never got a call. Pistons never got a call.
The Lions got 2 calls today. What are you talking about?
What calls?
How about
So you're going to tell me in your lifetime of being a fan that the Lions aren't way down in getting hosed by refs versus the times that we've gotten the benefit of the whistle?
Yeah,
you know what I'm
but
talking
I
about.
just
As a
saw
Detroit fan, you have not gotten the whistle through the majority. Listen, we had a perfect
I
game
get it,
thrown
but,
away.
But I
We
like to
had
operate in
Megatron.
reality. I like to operate in and I want to be truthful when I make statements. I just don't want to speak in sweeping things like you just did and say we never get a call when literally the 2-minute warning, they gave us the call today. That was
actually when they slowed it down and they showed the linked in time, it was a good call.
But how often do they call it right when it strikes zero? Never.
But what I'm saying though
this.
is as Detroit fans, none of our teams have ever gotten the whistle. Am I wrong? Am I being crazy right now?
I mean,
like you arguing semantics for an hour and a half with me tonight.
No. My argument with that is, does everybody here watch enough other team sports? Like, have you watched every Kansas City Chiefs game?
I mean,
In
I
a
know
season.
that. I know
You
that.
watch it as
I know that
intently.
in the 3 championships that he's won in the Super Bowl, the Kansas City Chiefs have never gotten a holding penalty.
Okay, so let's go San Francisco. Have you watched every San Francisco snap like you do the Lions? That's the one thing I just want fans to gain perspective of.
Tell
like
me
we-
one Detroit team in the history of you being a Detroit sports fan that you felt got the whistle.
But you could say that to any team. That
No, the Lakers get the whistle.
But if you ask an LA fan, they're not going to say they got the whistle.
No, actually,
That's-
my best friend Salim Adman, what's up, my friend? He's out there. He knows. Like he even said, 2004 was the only time that he ever saw the Lakers get an even whistle, and that was one of the major reasons why they lost.
Right. So, that's why I'm saying if you ask the hometown fans, of course, we're never going to see a game where we got the whistle because it never hurts us like that. But if you're in Arizona right now, you're bitching up a storm that they called that 2-minute warning thing. You're bitching up a storm that they didn't call that illegal contact down the field that could have been called. So, we got away with some today. And I'm not saying this, in the history of the world, of course.
There was honestly a couple calls early on in the game that I felt were pushed the Lions' way just to make sure we held momentum. Because Lions are good for the NFL.
They are. I mean, they're good for everybody now. It's crazy what the Lions have become. I mean, the fact that our head coach is in Applebee's commercials. Name another head coach.
I haven't seen the newest one. I haven't seen the first 2. I haven't seen the third.
I mean, you couldn't see Matt Patricia in an Applebee's commercial. You couldn't see Rod Marinelli in an Applebee's commercial. You couldn't see maybe Mooch.
I could see Patricia pulling up in his what do they call those? The Wiley, the Squirrely.
No, Patricia would be in the back with a hairnet at
Yeah,
Applebee's. That would be
what do they call the little personal?
a 4-wheeler.
No, the personal transport vehicle for old people.
The Segway?
No, the one that you ride on.
Oh, the Rascal.
The Rascal.
The Rascal.
Yeah, I could see him pulling up on that.
Yeah.
At Applebee's.
So, it's just crazy that we're at that level of pop culture with the Lions. But
I honestly, I think that Lions fans are very unused to being here. I think that we saw it last year when we beat the Kansas City Chiefs and then came home and lost to Seattle, and everybody going from up here crowning the Lions to down here, down on the Lions. Felt it a little bit last week, but not so much this week, even though people were worried and scared and stressed out and betting against the Lions, myself included. I do think that this win not only should substantiate the Lions players and understanding that, yes, our offense is still really good and we actually have a better defense, but Lions fans they've got to be able to be stapled a little bit to our win total and not so much our emotional total, because one win does not make a season, and one loss does not ruin one either.
yeah, and I was hoping that's what a lot of fans learned last year. Hey, man, don't throw the baby out with the bathwater.
Yeah, we tried to.
A loss doesn't mean the end of the world. There's going to be losses. The Lions are not going to be the first team to win out. That's not how this is going to go. There's going to be a fluke play. There's going to be some bullshit along the way. And I just want people to enjoy the ride. And that's what really was strange last year. The Lions had the best season they've ever had, period. End of story. You cannot debate it, right? They've won 2 playoff games. Never in their
Super Bowl
history
era,
had they done
best year ever.
Best ever. But still, people were acting like that was a hard year and like it sucked to be a fan. It's like, no, this is what we've been asking for our entire lives. And then this is where my perspective things go. Like, if you go watch Kansas City every game, every year, Patrick Mahomes makes some dumb fucking throws. Patrick Mahomes misses wide open.
They were talking
wide
about
receivers.
him missing the playoffs in Week 6 last year.
Yeah, so that's why I'm just like, just some perspective, guys. Just be along for the ride. Enjoy the hell out of the victories when we get them because we know how hard it was. But also, don't freak out over the losses because this is a new team. It's a new franchise. It's a new mindset. As you can see, Dan Campbell wins after a loss. That is a huge, huge, huge stat. And it isn't like if it was like 2 or 3 wins after a loss, you could be like, oh, maybe scheduling. This is 8 in a row. That's damn near half a season.
Yeah, our whole lives, every time the Leos caught any kind of momentum and you, like, allowed yourself to get excited, they dumped 2 games. They dumped 3 games. And I was excited going in last week, and we dumped a game. But it's over now.
Right.
We've won another game. We've cut that off. And if the Lions can do that again this season and not drop back-to-back games at all, it's going to be a real good time, guys.
It has been a good time. I mean, they're 2-1 on the season. They got Monday Night Football in town next week. Obviously, our pregame show is going to be down at Second Best in Midtown. The heavyweights are doing the pregame show next week, so that's going to be a party down there. Make sure you come hang out at Second Best. Other than that, man, Anderson, you got anything else you're pissed about and want to vent?
No, I'm 3-0. I know your team lost today.
I did. Yep, to the guy you stacked.
Yeah, I know you're still crying about that.
Not crying. I mean, listen, if you don't mind collusion in your league, that's fine with me.
Oh, man.
We've lost other guys to the league, and it's okay. But yeah.
Saying collusion is highly offensive.
Well,
highly offensive.
Trading the buddy you own a team with.
He knows better than to think that I would actually ever collude as a commissioner in the league. That's, 16 years old now, and everybody's very, very happy.
That's your boy.
Is the guy still complaining because Jaden Daniels was what Jordan Love used to be. But Jordan Love looks real good on your team. He's just not healthy.
What did Jaden Daniels do today?
He hasn't played yet.
When did they play? Monday night?
It's probably no, I think they play Monday night.
Is it a Monday night game?
Yeah, it's I had it written down here.
If it's in your notes. But thank you guys for being a part of the post-game show. I promise next win, Anson will be happy and joyful and excited to be here, and he's not going to tell you all about Sam Darnold. Can we make that promise for
not if Sam Darnold's 5-0 or 4-0.
Ugh, God. All right, well, there you go. Sam Darnold postgame show coming next week right here on Woodward Sports. Thank you guys for being a part of it. 1800 Tequila, thank you for the sponsorship. We cannot forget our people here at Sabbath Coffee. They hooked us up with a bunch of these cold brews. I drink them all day long, and so does everybody else. So Rokies, Tullamore Dew, and then, of course, New Holland Brewery was a big part of this. You can pick up all their stuff here at Hayes Social at 21 Mile in Hayes. And if you're ever in the area for a Lions game, please pop on by, watch with us. I mean, Darren was here today. Neil Rule was here today.
T-Mac?
Like, damn near the whole network comes out to watch
and
these.
the pizza is fire.
Yeah, the pizza.
Let's be honest. I mean, the pizza is just chronic as hell.
Ooh.
I mean, you got on one of the major news stations and challenged everybody in Detroit to try and touch the pizza here, and nobody's come close.
I'll put my $350 against Sam Darnold that our pizza is the best.
You hear that, Leach? He already is assuming that win.
Here. Before we leave from the chat, make sure you like and subscribe, too, if you're in the chat right now. Hey, Stick, will WSN have watch parties for the Tigers games next weekend? You damn right. And not only that, we'll be giving away tickets all week long to the next homestand for the Tigers. I just got to go buy the tickets tonight. But, yeah, we got approval on the budget for that. So we're going to be giving away Tigers tickets all week long on Woodward Sports. Make sure you're following us on Instagram and Twitter. We'll be giving some away through there as well. And then we're going to be hosting the Tigers watch parties. And then playoff Tiger baseball may actually happen in Detroit.
Good.
Playoff,
do they win a series?
I don't know.
They're so hot right now.
In a 3-game series, I
They're
would
so
not.
hot right
in a
now.
5-game series, I would not want to face us. In a 7-game series, I would not want to face us.
The best team in the American League since August 23rd. You know what happened on August 22nd?
No, I don't.
That was the last game that Javi Baez played.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yep. No, and they've been since August 10th though. They've been like the best.
Oh, they've been
team.
hot.
But yeah, they were like 20-11 since then. So
they've been real good.
I mean, sometimes it's addition by subtraction, and Javi Baez, you just wish the contract could go with him, but either way. But yeah, Tigers baseball, we'll be all over it. It's going to be a strange victory Monday around Woodward Sports. Not normally do we get to talk Tigers during this time, so it's going to be, we got to balance some
wild.
content
That's the
tomorrow.
first time.
It's usually all Lions, but who cares? Tigers doing their thing. Hottest team in baseball. So hot. You got to love them, and we're going to be giving away tickets. Thank you guys for being a part of the post-game show. Everybody, you have a great day. We will talk to you later. I'm going to go watch some Sunday Night Football, and then I will see you at Woodward Sports tomorrow. And, oh, yeah, Chase reminded me, tomorrow morning, 7 a.m., Woodward in Maine, Terry Foster and Matthew Broder will be on the air. So we'll see you guys later. Thank you guys. Have a good one.